Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Fish Tank. I'm Bad as a Fish, and today I thought I'd go through a deck that I've been playing this season in Minion Masters, and I've had a lot of success in it in basically all game modes. So this deck I've managed to get Grandmaster in solos and randoms, and Contender in Premades. So let's have a look at it and see how it works. Now, I made this deck a little while ago, adjusted it a little bit for the Mana Chaser meta, and it's been really successful. So it's a Diona deck, but you can play it with A.I.M if you're more comfortable playing with A.I.M. And definitely in randoms, I think A.I.M is the safer bet. The traps that you can use as Diona are very powerful, but you do need a teammate that can react, adapt, and play in a way that can get a lot of value out of them, which is not something that you're guaranteed to get in randoms. But my favourite way of playing it is with Diona. Now, as mentioned, Mana Chasers have been very strong this season. This is great against Mana Chasers. There will be some changes in the next patch that's coming very soon, so Mana Chasers won't be too much of a problem, but I still think this deck is going to have a place and definitely have a lot of strength. So let's just go through it card by card and just see what we can get from each of them. So start off with the Swarmers. So the Swarmers really just a cheap bridge grab, a little bit of a meat shield if necessary, but they can take both bridges for 2 mana, and bridges of course really strong if you can get them, but they're more difficult to hold and take this season. Now Jolo, very strong tank. He is getting a nerf in the upcoming patch, so I will probably still play him. Just have to be a little bit more careful how you play him, since he's not going to be able to dodge as many attacks as he was previous. So as long as he keeps doing what he does, and he does have his unique ability, of course, primarily the fact that you can guarantee dodge that first incoming bit of damage, I think he's still going to have a good place as a cheap tank. Now we've got the Marines, so that the Marines there are just a cheap anti-air ranged minion. There's 2 of them, of course, so they can take both bridges, and they are Outlander, so that will help us when generating some tech, which we'll want to use for our A.I.M bot. Now next up is a card that I like a lot, which is the Walk-in Blind Date, which I think has generally been quite a strong card, but now, with the way the bridge changes have been applied, with bridges far more difficult to take, the Walk-in Blind Date can be really useful to still kind of manage to backcap, even though backcapping isn't a thing anymore. Some people might prefer to play a Screaming Scrat there, but I really like the Walk-in Blind Date. And sometimes you get a lot of luck from it. Other times you get your Bounty Sniper on a bridge and it does nothing. But, you know, that's the way RNG works. Drone Walker. So Drone Walker is just very simple ranged DPS. And again, it's an Outlander card, so it's generating tech that our aimbot that will love. Now, Poison Strike is a real strong meta removal card at the moment, primarily because of the Mana Chasers and the fact that they're often supported with the Bannerman. So the way that the poison does its damage over time, the shields from a Bannerman will not protect it. So thinking about next season, you could potentially change that to a Chain Lightning, something like that, or continue to play with the poison, see how you get on. Now, we've got a lot of strong ranged DPS, so we do need some ways to stall and some ways to tank. We've got Jolo in there. The stun lancers are helpful because they do give us that 4-second stun on 1 or 2 things if you play them properly. And when you've got some real strong ranged DPS shredding, that can be the difference between killing something and that something killing you. Now, the A.I.M bot is our real DPS provider in the deck. So, of course, we're generating tech from our Outlander cards, and the A.I.M bot can consume it. It does start with a shield, which isn't great in the current meta, since most people spawn. Most people are running the Poison Strike. So if people switch away from Poison Strike, then the A.I.M bot will be in a stronger place. It is able to, as mentioned, consume the tech. So the tech is going to give it the marksmanship, the extra range, and as well as the nats. So when it's fully teched up, and it's a real solid ranged DPS. And then next up we have the Defenso Chopper. So you could argue you could play a Whirly Scrat in here, something like that. But I like the Defenso Chopper. It's really good against anti-melee. And it's one of those cards that kind of loiters around on the bridge and makes it difficult for your opponent to cap the bridge back. And then finally we have our big removal spell. So Beam of Doom, really key against some specific matchups, and sometimes it's a card you use very little in a game, very rarely, but sometimes it can really be your get out of jail free card. And if you're playing Premades and your teammate has something like a beam as well, you could consider both running the beam, or you could switch it to be like a chain lightning so you get that stun. Because the only thing this deck really lacks is that stun spell, which you really do feel when you come up against Mordar, for example, who's very strong in the current meta. So that's really an overview. And of course, we've got to consider also the Diona's traps. Diona's traps are really, really strong from her perk 1 and her perk 3, but they do need to be used correctly. So I would advise anyone that's getting involved in that, maybe check out some videos, check out some gameplay, check out some streamers, see how they're using the traps, and see what value they get. For your crossbow trap is great DPS, either removing the back line from the opponent's push, or helping to DPS down their big units, or of course just going for face damage. So that's really nice. And of course the decoy trap is a great tank that could be really helpful keeping our ranged DPS alive. And of course, not many people know, but you can block a Wheel of Doom. If you're quick enough and you throw down your decoy trap, it will block it. It's got over 300 HP. So there we have it. There's a deck that I've been playing this season, had a lot of success out of it, and thought I'd share it with you. And the fact that I think it's still going to be strong next season. There's no reason for people to try it out and see how you get on. Right, let me know what you think in the comments. Give it a try. Let me know how you get on with it. And of course, I'll put the deck down in the description so you can easily access it and try it out. And that's it for me. So this is Bad as Fish, and this is an Awkward Wave. Don't forget, if you're enjoying the content, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe.